All right, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and today we're gonna continue working on studying. We're gonna continue studying the basics of Git. I haven't made too much progress since yesterday. Give me a second. Let me bring this up. So yesterday we were in this section, removing files, and there's a bit to look into here. Um, which is why I opened up the docs for the rm command, just so I can understand exactly what this command does. So we're gonna read through this thing. I also Oh yeah, there was this other thing I just needed to like refresh my knowledge because I'm pretty sure I asked Llama this question before as well. But I wanted to refresh my knowledge again because, well, I forgot. I wanted to know the difference between the working tree and the index. The index, to a certain extent, I remembered that yeah, it's the staging area. It's basically where all the changes that have been staged that are ready to be committed are stored. But I still needed sort of a confirmation, sort of a clarification of what exactly the working tree is. And apparently, the working tree is pretty much everything that's outside of the Git folder. So when you initialize the repository, it creates that Git folder, and apparently everything outside that folder is just it's the working tree. Okay, it also mentions here the working tree tracks all changes you make to files and folders, such as additions, modifications, and deletions. You can use the git status command to see the current state of your working tree and identify which files have been modified or are ready to be staged. Uh, okay, index. The index, also known as the staging area or cache, is a temporary area. Man, we jumped right into it today, huh? I don't think I've done this in like a long time. Usually I start up the stream and there's a bit of yapping that happens, but today I managed to jump right into it, which is great. Also, unfortunately, yesterday I did not do a data science lab stream. I wanted to, but then after the stream, I think I went and got something to eat. I don't remember. I think so. Yeah. I wanted to get something to eat, and then I was gonna start up a stream, but then I was kind of tired, so I was like, nah, I'll just relax and do other stuff. And I did that. Hopefully today I'm gonna be doing more. Hopefully today I'm gonna be doing the data science lab stream. Hopefully today is gonna be the first data science lab stream. Dude, you know what I'm thinking? I'm wondering if I should wait until I I've built the overlays for my regular co-working slash studying stream and the data science lab stream. If I should wait until I've built those overlays so that I can then start the data science lab stream, but like I don't know, because I mean it's not going to make too much of a difference. In fact, if I start the data science lab stream right now without the overlay, and then later on add the overlay, it's going to be sort of a addition. It's going to be like a bonus that the thing is being added on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? I can do that, dude. The thing is, I mean, a lot of this comes down to, well, a lot of this comes back to me needing to initialize a repo for my for the VTuber app Unity project. And what I'm thinking is, actually, I wonder if I should have a separate repo for yeah, because okay, hold on. Let me open this thing up. wait. So here I have, give me a second. So if we look at the Unity project and we follow the breadcrumb trail back, so we have Demkeys vtuber temp app. That's the that's the folder that contains, oh, that's the folder that directly contains the, okay, yeah, you know what, we can do that because I'd created another folder called stream stuff. And in that I created Demkeys vtuber temp app Unity project. But I also have the temp app notes and the temp app uh, releases logs, release logs. Um, I also have a builds archive that now you know what, okay, I'll set up the stream stuff thing by itself. Yeah, I'll set up the stream stuff thing by itself. What did I just say? I'll set up the stream stuff thing by itself. No, I'll set up the repo within stream stuff. You guys can't see what I'm. You know what? Okay, let me just. Okay, so I can describe it in this file. So what I have is a folder called stream stuff. Okay, and in that folder, I have let's say DVT temp app Unity project. I also have a builds archive folder. Both of these are folders. And then I have dvt temp app notes.txt and dvt release logs.txt. Right. So initially what I was thinking was that I would just set up a repo within dvt temp app. But now I'm thinking maybe I should set it up in stream stuff. And then the entire stream stuff folder can become a repo because that way, at least that way I'll be keeping the builds. I'll be keeping an archive. Actually, no, then I feel like the repo might become way too big then. Yeah, I think the repo might become way too big because the builds have, I mean, I need to save the builds archive as well. I can't just leave that be. Yeah, okay, so the builds archive currently is 861 MB and it is holding, I think, what, 10 different versions of the VTuber app build, 10 different versions of the VTubing app. Yeah, yeah. I'm still not sure if I want to create the repo in stream stuff or if I want to create the repo for the app itself. Um, oh, you know what I could do? I could try setting something. Wait, let me. I don't know if this is a thing with Git by itself. This is definitely a thing with GitHub, where they have a thing. They have something called submodules, where a repo can sort of reference another repo. And so there'll be a reference to that referenced repo added to this main repo. And this is useful for many cases. For example, if you have one very good example is the C# Twitch lib library that's divided into multiple components, and each of those components is a separate repo. So it keeps the it allows people to sort of develop those things as separate components, as opposed to them being all part of the same repo. There's a lot of different use cases, not just that. Let's say, for example, you are working on a project, and in your project you need to add the source code of another project, right? You can reference that repo instead of, let's say, having to get the latest build or latest DLL or whatever each time. You can reference that repo and then you can directly reference that code. Anyways, I need to see if Git has. Wait, hold on. Let's finish reading this index thing. So the index, also known as a staging area or cache, is a temporary area where you prepare changes before committing them to the repository. Yeah, okay. Right, so that's the staging area. Okay. All right. GitHub has the concept of submodules where a repo can reference another repo in it. In it. Does plain Git have a similar concept? Okay, let's see. Yes, plain Git does have a concept similar to what you might be referring to as submodules on GitHub, and it is indeed called Git submodules. Git submodules allow you to include another Git repository as a subdirectory within your main Git repository. Here are some key points about Git submodules. Hold on. I zoned out for a second. Okay, integration. You can include another Git repository as a subdirectory in your main project. This is done using git submodule command, which saves the path and URL references in a .git modules file. Commit tracking. A submodule corresponds to a specific commit in the child repository. Okay. When you update the submodule, you need to commit the new state of the submodule to in the main repository. Dude, you know what? Okay, no, hold on. I'm not going to do this just yet because I feel like this is going to complicate things for me right now. I'm still fairly new to Git. So I don't want to overcomplicate things to an extent where things could break and I then won't know how to fix them. So I need to find a different way. Okay, going back to this, what we are looking at here. Now, here's something that I could do. I could put this, both of these text files into the Unity project folder. That could work. Or another thing I could do is, in stream stuff, I could set up a DVT temp app folder, and then in there I could have this. Yeah. I could do something like that. Then something that I should also do is move a couple of other things in here. So it's for streaming, right? So I could technically put virtual stream deck into this. I could also put Twitch middleware app into this. Where did I place Twitch middleware? Let me just check. Because okay, in my so the way that I've organized this is, let's say I have let's say we're talking about D drive. Okay, in there we have a folder called work, right? In work folder, there's a folder called projects, and this is where my serious projects get put. And in there, we have stuff like virtual stream deck, stuff like Twitch middleware app, and of course the DVT temp app as well. Oh, actually, uh, in there I have stream stuff, and under stream stuff I've put DVT temp app, DVT temp app Unity project. So this is the way that things have been organized here. I didn't take like Git repos into account when I was doing this. Though at this point, I mean, technically, Virtual Stream Deck, I use it for streaming, right? So it could come under stream stuff, and Twitch middleware app also could come under stream stuff. See, another thing I could do is just rename stream stuff to DVT temp app, and that'll kind of solve all of the problems. So if I just uh, rename to DVT temp app, and then under this we have stuff like DVT temp app, we have the build archives, we have what else? What else? We have the notes, and we have the release logs, right? So I could just rename stream stuff to DVT temp app, because as it stands now, that's literally the only thing that that folder kind of houses. It doesn't really have anything else. Oh, it also has all the backup folders. And now that I'm setting up a Git repo, I'm not going to need the backup folders. Let me just take a step back and see. Oh God. Okay. Now hold on. Wait, I was wrong. I was wrong. Stream stuff. I'm glad I checked, because I was remembering completely wrong. So, okay, back up. Stream stuff has this. Stream stuff has everything already. Yeah, it's got VTuber. So it's got the original VTuber app project. It's got the VTuber temp app project. It's got Twitch middleware. It's got, holy shit. I'd created a Unity project called Just Cat. I had this idea a while back. Actually, I think I had this idea I think it was during April Fools. When did I make this? I made this on the 2nd of April. Yeah, okay. So, on during for April Fools, Twitch had they had introduced. See, I'm looking at the time right now, and it's been 19 minutes that I've been streaming. Earlier, I was mentioning that this is the first time in a long time that I directly jumped into the studies, but I guess even in this stream that didn't happen, because I eventually got distracted, and well, here we are now. Okay, so during April Fools 2024, Twitch had launched a couple of new categories as a joke, and some of them actually stuck around because people really liked those categories. I think just catting was one of them that stuck around because people really liked it. I think they had another one which is just a rock, and there were a couple others as well. I think there was something to do with cowboys and stuff like that. They had a couple of categories, and it was nice. It was a good joke. But I got the idea that, hey, I could set up an app that is just a cat, and you know what? I could still do that. Now I could still do that. Yes, I could still do that now because uh now I can actually move this over to now I can actually move this over to the the Linux side so that things aren't as slow in terms of development. Give me a second. I have two projects here. One was the cat bot and the other was the Unity project. Uh okay. All right. Okay, anyways. So back to this. So I was wrong about this. Okay. We have, give me a second. I have actually, holy shit, I can't, damn. Okay, dude. So this is not the Unity project. This is DVT, or well, this is Demkeys vtuber temp app. And then under that, I created the other stuff. So all of this, the build archives and stuff, it's part of this. And then this was just the temp app project, and this was uh, actually just the Unity project. This was the old version of DVT. This wasn't temp app. This was what was it called? Just Demkeys VTuber app. Um, okay, all right. So now I don't think I should be renaming stream stuff to that anymore. Because this is what we are looking at. Oh, I also have the just cat app. Let's add that. Just cat app. I made a bunch of copies here. What else? I had also created a virtual space project. I have no idea what this was supposed to be for. Virtual space project. I think it was going to be some kind of like VTuber environment that I was going to set up for my for the stream. Okay, then there's virtual stream deck. That's already there. Okay, we can add virtual space project. I have no idea what this was supposed to be for, but I'm just gonna leave it as it is. And then in here, I also had, hold on. In this, I also had the stream stuff notes.txt. Let me just open that real quick and see what information was written down there. Current project is DVT. Okay, I might as well delete this right now. Oh, virtual space project and stream controller app. Stream controller app was here, right? Yeah, I didn't add that to this list. Stream controller app. That was, I believe that was the first version uh, of the VTuber project. My own VTuber app project. I believe this was the first version. This was an app in which I could control a bunch of different things. It had like very limited functionality. I created functionality to change like have a text label kind of thing on screen, and I think I could move it around and edit it as well. I don't remember. Um, I also had a timer set up in it. that I would use at the time I was doing this thing. Like before I would start my VR chat streams, I would set up a timer kind of thing because I'd seen other streamers doing it, and I liked that idea. I was like, okay, this gives me some time to like set up stuff. Um, but like now I don't really do that anymore. I just start the stream and say hello because I don't need to set up a whole bunch of stuff after I've started the stream. I can just set it up before starting the stream and then start the stream. Also, another reason streamers do that, at least the streamers that have a bunch of viewers, is because it gives a bunch of the viewers time to flood in, because not everyone is gonna tune into the stream the second you go live. So keeping like a, I don't know, 5 minute, 10 minute kind of timer, it gives it gives people enough time to come in. And well, I'm not big enough to need to do that, so it's kind of pointless for me to have that timer kind of thing. Either way, eventually I think I had started working on virtual space project, which I still don't remember exactly what it was supposed to have in it. Let me see what the dates are. So virtual space project was last opened on the 12th of December 2021. Okay. Demkey's VTuber app was last opened on what looks like the 31st of January 2023. Okay, all right. So I'm guessing. Oh, wait, there was also Stream Controller app. So after Stream Controller app, oh, Virtual Space Project was, I don't know which one was before or after. Okay, this was created, Virtual Space Project was created on the 4th of December. Stream Controller app was created on the 1st of January 2022. Okay. Um, then, so that was like 3 years ago. And then the VTuber app project was created on, give it a second. It was created on the 20th of May 2022. So after the Stream Controller app, I think I got a better idea of what I wanted to do, and then I went with the Demkey's VTuber app project. And I think I don't remember what the issue was because of which I decided to work on this temp app project eventually. And then I just kept on making more project on the project, more progress, not project. I just kept on making more and more progress on the temp app, and I then just pushed aside the main app, and the temp app became the main app, and I just never changed the name. Okay. I don't think I need to create a repo for all of these. However, I think this could become a repo. This could become a repo. Demkey's VTuber temp app could become the repo. The problem is I feel like I feel like the repo is going to become too big eventually, mainly because of the build archive. So I'm wondering if I should keep the build archive as like a separate project. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should keep the build archive as a separate though. I mean, the build archive is more it's more like these things. These it's more like a historical thing. It's just something that I'm adding to. It's not something that I'm constantly like it's just an archive. So I don't know if I should be keeping like Git. I should be keeping a Git repository for that. I don't think it needs a Git repo. I could just make a backup of. Yeah, you know what we can do? Okay, so uh, I can create a Git repo in here, in Demkey's VTuber app, and then I can create a git ignore file to ignore certain folders within Demkey's VTuber temp app folder within the Unity project. This is the Unity project. So I can create a git ignore file to ignore certain folders within this project or within this folder, and then I can also add the build archives thing to be ignored. And well, I can track the notes and the release logs. Those definitely need to be part of the repo. I can do that. Okay, I can do it in that way. That works. Yeah, definitely. That works. Shit, I missed the ad timer. Oh well, I can't do anything now. Let's just wait. In a couple of seconds, the ad break is going to start, and then there's going to be a 30-second ad. Okay. Um. So now it's a good thing that I kind of visited this whole thing and like kind of drew out a diagram of this just so I know exactly what I'm trying to track, what I'm trying to store in the repo. So it's not just the Unity project, it's also the notes and the release logs and stuff. And this way I'm going to be able to make changes to these notes and all right, there's the ad break. There's an ad break running right now, so I'm going to take a hydration break and I'll see you guys in like 30 seconds. All right, welcome back. So, like I was saying, yeah, I need to both of these text files need to be part of the repo as well, because that way I can make changes to them from either one of these systems. Yeah, yeah, I like that idea. Also, here's something interesting, right? Yesterday, I was playing around with Git checkout because I was curious about what this and dude, okay, the concept of Git checkout, it's really interesting. Keeping branching aside, using Git checkout to jump to one of the previous commits, it's really interesting because, for example, um, let me show you guys. You know what? Okay, so we added this new text here, right? So I'm gonna leave this text here. I'm gonna save this and do give it a second. So there's Git status. Why did I just say there's Git status? Anyways, so we're doing Git status, and we're also gonna do a commit where we um oh yeah uh created a project. What am I trying to say? Project folder structure diagram. All right, so that's been committed. Okay, now we can do git log. Um, what is it? Let's say one line, I guess. I forgot what the thing is supposed to. Yeah, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. So we are currently on this commit, right? Using git checkout, we can jump to any of the previous commits. And when we do that, it's going to put us in a detached head state, right? We're going to be in the previous one of the previous commits. This means you can look at your project the exact same way that it was back in that commit. So, for example, yesterday I did a couple of extra commits just so I can jump back from something. So let's take a look at this. These lines here, each of these lines was a different commit, just so I could jump back. So I'm gonna try jumping back to the point before I made uh, first of all this diagram, but also this line of text. So if we look at our commits here, which also fortunately we have the source control thing. Give me a second. Here, fortunately, we also have this, so we can take a look at the all the commits here. So if I think I want to jump back to this one. So I can copy the commit ID, right? And then I can do git checkout and paste the commit ID. So it's checked out. Give it a second. And there it is. So you have that extra line missing. You also have that entire diagram missing. And we are now at that point where the project was previously. Well, where the project was during that specific commit that we have just checked out. And this is kind of interesting because this allows you to jump back in time. It allows you to basically look at older snapshots, because that's exactly what this is, right? Like when you think about the concept of a snapshot, in this case, we are able to jump back to different snapshots of the project. And that's super interesting. That is super useful as well. Because from this point, from here, you can create a new branch if you want, and you can start making commits from there. You can start making commits to that branch, and then eventually at some point you could merge it into your main branch. I need to see what the specifics are around merging to merging it into the main branch, because I wonder if you could, like, okay, so let's take a look at the tree here, right? The graph. So if we create a branch at some point here, no, you know what? Let's let's do git checkout back to main. All right, cool. So we have our changes back again. Now let's say we jump back to this commit, right? And just ignore whatever is being shown here. And from this point, we created a branch, and let's say that branch is like separate. It's not within this line. It's a separate line. And let's say we've made a couple of commits to that branch. Where on the main branch would we be able to merge the how do you even say it? Where on the main branch would we be able to merge this separate branch? Let's say let's call it the dev branch. Let's say we've created a dev branch. Where on the main branch would we be able to merge the dev branch? Would it have to be at the tip of the branch, or are we still able to merge it into one of the previous commits? Because I feel like if we are able to merge it into one of the previous commits, that would sort of create complications for the next few commits, and that's not really going to make sense. So it makes a lot more sense to only be able to merge it into the current tip of the branch, so wherever head is currently pointing to. But yeah, I'm gonna have to see if that is the case, or if there's like some sophisticated way that you're able to merge into one of the middle points in the branch, or well, yeah, one of the middle points in the main branch. But yeah, yeah. Um, all right. Okay. What else was I doing? How did we come to this point? I don't remember. But yeah, dude, holy shit. Git, man, I'm glad that I jumped into this whenever I did, because years ago when I did jump into Git, I can I can confidently tell you now that I did not understand this as well as I do now back then. Like I didn't fully grasp all of the stuff that was going on. And I feel like to a certain extent, that's kind of where learning the command line stuff, it comes in handy. It really helps you. I mean, sure, you can learn this through GUI as well. I'm sure if I started using the thing through the GUI, I probably would have been able to learn through that as well. But I don't know. I don't know. Because, I mean, there's like right now, for example, I'm not entirely using the command line. Like, let me show you. Fortunately, we do have some Git related UI stuff that we can do, and that is incredibly helpful, right? So we are not limited, but I don't know if I would have directly jumped into the GUI stuff, would I still have learned this in the same way? I'm sure eventually I would have understood the concepts that I need to understand, but I don't know. Okay. Anyways, I'm glad that uh I decided to. I mean, I keep saying I'm glad that I decided to relearn Git, but at this point, it's more like just saying learn Git, because whatever I did learn about Git back then, it was like super basic stuff. Um, it was like I knew that I have to add files after I've made changes. I have to add those files. I didn't know what I was adding them to, and then I knew that I have to commit those files. I didn't know exactly what committing meant. And then I knew that I had to push the files. And the only thing, or well, push the changes, quote unquote, push the changes. The only thing that I understood about that back then was it's pushing the changes from this repo up to the main repo. I didn't fully understand what was going on behind the scenes. And I feel like now I have a better understanding. And I'm slowly getting there to understanding even more about what exactly is going on behind the scenes. That's giving me a lot more, it's giving me a much better understanding of how Git works. And because of this, I'm going to be able to use it for a bunch of my different projects. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I just remembered how I started talking about Git checkout. So though though GitHub desktop it allows you to do stuff for GitHub repos. Yesterday, when I opened up GitHub desktop, in the commit messages, like how do I say this? So like in the section where it gives you the option to create a title for the commit and a body for the commit, it also shows a little like a profile picture kind of thing. And give me a second. Git config global user.name. So this is the username that I've set, and this is the email that I've set, and I've done this on purpose. This is not related to my GitHub at all. So when I opened up GitHub Desktop was reading the config file from Git. Like they share the same config file. And so any commits that I would have been making, they would have been coming from dem keys with the email abc at example.com, and that actually reflected in GitHub desktop. So that got me wondering, like I didn't do the commit, but that got me wondering to what extent I would be able to use GitHub desktop for repos that are not GitHub repos. So basically for like local repos, to what extent would I be able to use GitHub desktop? I'm super curious about that. Oh, you know what we could do? I think Llama would have some information about this so we could try asking Llama. Dude, we're supposed to be learning about this removing files thing, but like we're just doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay. Um, what was I gonna ask? Okay, yeah. I'm learning Git. Um, I know how to use GitHub Desktop. I'm wondering, am I limited to only uh, working with GitHub repos when using GitHub Desktop? Or would I also be able to create bare bones Git repos and work with them through GitHub Desktop? Okay, let's see. When using GitHub Desktop, you're not limited to only working with Git repositories. Here are some key points to consider. Creating and managing local Git repositories. You can create and manage. See, okay, this is the interesting thing. I never thought about it in this way because, like, I think that was part of the problem with directly starting with GitHub. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say problem, but it's one of the reasons why I never fully understood like how Git works is because well I didn't even start with GitHub. I started with I think it was called Source Tree. I keep forgetting what the name was. I think the app was called Source Tree, and I think the website was called Atlassian or something like that. Let me look this up because I'm curious now. Source Tree. I don't know if that app is still a thing. Okay, Source Tree, a free Git GUI for Mac and Windows, and it's on a website called Source Tree app. Okay, all right. Okay, so I think I was using Source Tree back in the day, but I remember it being something to do with, oh yeah, there it is, Atlassian, get started with Source Tree. So I think Atlassian was the one that was hosting the Git repo. Like they had like free repos to up to a certain extent. I don't remember what their pricing model was then, but let me see what their pricing model is now. Give me a second. Oh, I'm also seeing Bitbucket. I wonder if I was using Bitbucket. Dude, okay, I think wait, I wonder if I was using Bitbucket back then. Bitbucket is a Git-based source code repository hosting service okay, there you go, by Atlassian. Bitbucket offers both commercial plans and free accounts. I think this is what I was using. I was using Bitbucket to host the repo, and then I would use SourceTree to do all the repo related stuff. And that was quite a bit of stuff that you could do with it. Like the SourceTree app, it gave you quite a few options. Give me a second. I'm just looking at their pricing thing. So in their free version, it's free forever for up to 5 users. And then they have a standard version and a premium version and stuff like that. Build minutes, okay. User limit per instance. Is there a repo limit? Okay, now these days they have a lot more features. Even when it comes to repo repo hosting and repo related things, because I mean, back then we didn't have like a whole lot of stuff. I mean, back then we still got like, I'm not trying to put down, their free stuff. What I'm saying is a lot of the extra stuff that is there now that we are looking at, we didn't have it back then. So there's no point in me looking at their list right now because, yeah. Anyways, okay. Um, so yeah. You can create. Oh yeah, this is what it spawned that thought for me. That was like, okay, so I never thought about it in this way. When I was using each time I've been using GitHub Desktop, mainly my mind has been associating it with repos that are connected to that are hosted on GitHub, and like you clone them and then you work on them. So like that's what my mind was always associating it with. I never thought about it in this way that okay, I could probably use GitHub Desktop to just just play around with plain Git repositories, and that makes things a little more convenient, to be honest. Like if I'm able to use, I mean, to be honest, it's not that inconvenient here, but like there's a nice there's a nice GUI that you can use to write your commits and look at the history and stuff like that. So it's convenient. It's convenient in its own ways. And there's also other stuff, other what do you call it? Other features that are necessary. One of them is this checkout commit. That's an option that's there, which is great, right? But yeah, this was interesting. This was good to realize, good to figure out. This was like a light bulb moment for me. It was one of those things where it's like a light bulb just goes off in your head and in your head and you're like, okay, I didn't think about this before, but now I know about it, so that's cool. So I have GitHub Desktop. I'm yet to try out that what do you call it? There's that Git GUI app. I haven't looked into that yet. I think that might have been installed along with my Git installation. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see. I also need to, yeah, once again, I keep forgetting. I also need to look into this. Oh, you know what I could do? Okay, wait. Let's see what people's opinions are on so GitHub Desktop versus VS Code Git. Do I need GitHub Desktop if I use Git in VS Code? No, you don't need the GitHub Desktop app. Git works without GitHub and such. Git to GitHub is the same as, okay, I'm not gonna, yeah, never mind. It's a good example. It's a good example. But okay, both the GitHub Desktop app and VS Code Git know about the changes because there's a Git folder where you initialized your repo. That folder contains all sorts of information. This way, VS Code and Git both know about the wheres, the wheres and whats. Okay, you know what? Hold up. So I'm curious about something. So far, we've been adding files, we've been staging files, or well, yeah, we've been adding files, which is staging files. We've been adding files, or I should stop saying adding. We've been staging files, and we've been committing files all through. In fact, not just files, changes. We've been staging and committing changes all through the command line. What if, let's say, okay, this is yet another. Okay, let's say and this is yet another new line. Okay, we're going to save this and see if there are options here to push those changes somehow. So what's going on here? Commit and message. It's not showing what the change is. Okay, let's refresh. Oh, there it is. It's showing the change. Right. Okay. So we can stage all the changes. We can commit. We can commit and push. Okay. All right. What if I just commit without any thing? There are no stage changes. Would you like to stage all the changes? Oh God, I can't read this. Hold on. Okay. Would you like to stage all your changes and commit them directly? Yes. But I haven't given a commit message here, so I wonder what message it's going to show. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it asks for a message. This commit, or let's say commit done through VS Code source control panel. So we save it. We accept the commit message, and then our commit is done. Great. So this is our new commit. Great. So without even like, dude, okay, so I was planning on keeping like dedicating a separate segment that's gonna where we're gonna go through this entire page. But it seems like I'm already learning a lot about it seems like I'm already learning quite a bit about um, the source control side of Git without even looking into that documentation. Well, I'm already learning like bit by bit of it without looking. Well, not without looking. I am looking into it, but like my point is that I'm already learning a bunch of bits about the source control side of VS Code without having to dedicate an entire section, an entire segment to just that. Because like each time we learn something new, I'm like, okay, let me try to do this through the VS Code source control thing. So we know that we are able to view the source control graph, which is great, right? There's a couple of other tools here, stuff like fetch, for example. I need to look into a bunch of these things. There's a very useful option, pull. Publish branch. I need to look into this. Like, where exactly is it publishing it to? Um, then there's go to current history item. What does that do? Okay, wait. So let's say I've selected one of these. Oh, that's what it does. It goes to the current history. Okay. All right. And I need to look into what this does as well at some point later. Actually, what is okay, so right now main is selected. What difference does that make? Oh, could it be let's say I check out. Oh, that's wait, I never thought about doing that, dude. Okay, so we are able to check out from here as well. That is my God. Okay, that is great. Awesome. So once we come here, this can be our way to go back to main, I guess. Oh, I was supposed to click OK. I didn't think about. Wait a minute. What just happened? Something just happened. Something just happened, and I don't know if that was supposed to happen. So we're gonna change this, okay? And we are gonna. So okay, how do we check out back to main? How do we check out back to main? Let's try. Okay, check out to main. Oh, there it is, main. Okay, cool. I don't think we lost anything. I'm still confused about what happened here. Select one or more history item references to view, type so-and-so to filter. Oh, so does this mean that we can still view main even if we are not in the main, um, even if the head is not currently detached to, is not currently attached to main? Current history item, all items. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is mainly just for viewing. These options are mainly just for viewing. It hasn't made too much of a change to what we were, or it hasn't made too much of a change to the repo. It's mainly for viewing purpose. And great, we now know that we are able to make commits through VS Code directly. We are also able to view our graph here. Apparently, there's also some other stuff. Source control repositories. What does this show? And where is it? Oh, this is the repo. Okay. All right. Okay. We can hide this. Um, view as tree. What does that do? Oh, it's like if there's changes. Okay, so let's test that out. Yo, we adding another new line. Okay, there's the change. Let's try viewing it as a tree. Okay, cool. That's the tree. Um, all right, cool. Stage the change. And this is our message. We can type it in here. Um, another commit from VS Code, uh, uh, SCM control panel or SCM panel, and then control enter, which is also convenient because we don't need to click anything. Great, awesome. All right, dude, this is great. Cool. Um, okay. Now let's look at removing files. Was there something that I was reading here before? Yeah, I think I was reading. Okay, you can create and manage local Git repositories using GitHub Desktop even if they are not associated with GitHub. For example, you can create a new repository locally by selecting File, New Repository in GitHub Desktop. This allows you to manage a Git repository without necessarily publishing it to GitHub. Add existing local repositories. You can also add existing local Git repositories to GitHub Desktop. This involves selecting so and so, so and so, and pointing to the folder where your local repository is located. This way, you can manage to work with local Git repositories that may not be linked to GitHub. General Git operations, GitHub, GitHub Desktop. I was about to say GitHub depositories. GitHub Desktop supports various Git operations such as creating branches, committing changes, and pushing/pulling from remote repositories. These operations can be performed on any local Git repository, whether it is intended to be published on GitHub or not. In summary, GitHub Desktop is capable of working with In summary, GitHub Desktop is capable of working with any local Git repository, allowing you to perform a wide range of Git operations without the necessity of the repository being hosted on GitHub. That is great. If I, okay, I've also learned that VS Code supports source control operations. What would be the pros and cons of using GitHub Desktop versus using VS Code, uh, source control for my Git repo operations. Okay, so when deciding between using GitHub Desktop and Visual Studio Code for managing your Git repositories, here are some key points. Here are some key pros and cons of each option to consider. GitHub, GitHub, my God, words. GitHub Desktop. Fuck me, dude. Pros. Intuitive interface. GitHub Desktop offers a straightforward, okay, all right, cool, making it easier for beginners and those who prefer a GUI over command line operations. Seamless GitHub integration. It's optimized for GitHub, providing smooth workflows for repository management, collaboration, and code reviews directly with GitHub projects. Simplified workflows. GitHub Desktop simplifies common Git tasks such as cloning repositories, committing changes, and managing branches, making development more straightforward. Automatic updates. The application keeps itself updated with the latest features and security enhancements automatically. I've noticed that. Yeah, I've noticed that. It also automatically tracks when there's how do I say this? Let's say you've cloned a repo and you are working on your own copy of it, right? And let's say you've pushed a change, and at some point in that repo, somebody else has made a change which you don't yet have. So now your copy of the repo is different from the the original copy, right? So it's going to tell you that yeah, this thing is not up to date, so you need to pull from origin. I should see at some point once I go into remotes, I should see if VS Code has a similar thing. We haven't started with remotes yet, so that's something we're gonna have to look into later on. Okay, cons, limited feature set. GitHub Desktop may not suffice for users seeking advanced Git functionalities like interactive rebase and detailed commit graphs. Detailed commit graphs. How do you wait? Which app has detailed commit graph? Actually, I think the GUI stuff that's made specifically for Git, I think they might have whatever detailed commit graphs are. Because like when I think about a commit graph, this is what I'm thinking of, like this thing here, and GitHub has a similar thing. Like they have their own like version of a commit graph. But yeah, that's what my mind is going to. Okay, focused on GitHub. While it's excellent for projects hosted on GitHub, it might be less useful for projects hosted on other platforms. Okay, no official Linux support. I did not know that. That is wild. Okay, GitHub Desktop does not have an official version for Linux, which can lead to compatibility and update challenges. VS Code source control. Pros: comprehensive Git support. VS Code includes Git support out of the box and offers a wide range of features, including inline blame annotations, commit history visualization, and detailed branch management. Advanced features: VS Code supports advanced Git operations such as staging specific changes, creating and managing branches, and resolving merge conflicts. It also provides a graphical representation of the commit history. Multi-platform support. VS Code is available. Yep, it's available on multiple platforms. Great. Oh yeah, that by itself ensures that yes, you will be able to do this cross-platform because both VS Code and Git are multi-platform. Okay, extensibility. VS Code allows for the integration of multiple source control providers simultaneously and has a rich ecosystem of extensions that can enhance the SCM capabilities. Its SCM capabilities. Integrated code editor. VS Code combines source control management with a powerful code editor, allowing you to edit files, stage changes, and commit directly within the same interface. You know what? That is true, actually. Yeah, you don't have to move over to a separate app to push your changes. Yeah, that's convenient. um Cons: steeper learning curve. While VS Code is highly intuitive, mastering its full range of features, especially for those new to Git, might require more time and effort compared to GitHub Desktop. A more complex interface. The interface, although powerful, can be more complex and overwhelming for users who prefer a simpler, more streamlined experience. Okay, you know what? It seems like I'm gonna be able to do quite a bit of Git stuff through VS Code itself. Let's take a look at a couple of things here. There's a bunch of different things that I don't yet know much about. Stuff like stash, cherry pick. I know about cloning, but there's different types of clonings. No, okay, there's two types of clones. The others say close. What does close repository do? I should check that out later. Oh, I also found out about this thing, commit append. Apparently you can append, I mean, this is what I've understood from this, is that apparently you can append commits which have already been made. So you can, let's say, once you've committed something where you changed a bunch of files and maybe added a couple of files, removed a couple of files. Let's say you have a bunch of changes in a commit. You push the commit. You committed those changes, right? And then you realize that, oh, a small change was remaining in one of the files. You could append the previous commit. That's what I'm understanding from this. I hope my understanding is not wrong. We'll find out later because in the next chapter, let me just look at that. So we are currently here, which is recording changes to the repository. The next one is viewing the commit history, and the next one is undoing changes. Yeah, this is where I believe this is where append comes in. Oh, not append, amend. That's my bad. Have I been saying append all this time? It's amend because appending is adding to something. Amending is editing something. Which I mean, appending is technically also editing, but like, yeah, it's yeah, you're not adding something to. Well, you are kind of adding. I should stop trying to explain this. Yeah, it's not append, it's amend, because you're changing the thing, you're editing it. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was looking at the Git related stuff. Okay, so we have commit. We have a bunch of different commit stuff. We have create branch, delete branch, discard changes, drop. There's stash again. I need to look at what fetch does. I know what initialize repo does, of course. Merge. I think merge is mainly for like branches, right? I think so. Or is merging commits also a thing? Like I've heard of the concept of I've heard of the concept of squashing commits, which also gets covered there. Actually, I wonder. Okay, I'm curious. This command takes your staging area and uses it for the commit. If you've made no changes since your last commit, then your snapshot will look exactly the same. And all you'll change is your commit message. The same commit message editor fires up, but it already contains the message of your previous commit. You can edit the message the same as always, but it overwrites your previous commit. Backup. One of the most common undos takes place when you commit too early and possibly forget to add some files, or you mess up your commit message. If you want to redo the commit, make additional changes. Oh, yeah, okay. So I'm guessing in this thing, like whenever this whole thing happens, like when you set up the amending of the commit, I think at that point you're able to uh, stage the files. As an example, if you commit and then realize you forgot to stage the changes in a file you wanted to add to this commit, you can do something like this. Okay, you end up with a single commit. Okay. So you commit and then you add. Oh, that's how it works. So you've done your commit already, right? And then you add the thing to the staging area, and then if you do commit append, no, commit amend. I keep doing that. If you do commit amend, it's not going to commit a new thing. It's gonna commit these changes to the old commit or to the latest commit. So it's just going to add it to that commit. Only amend commits that are still local and have not yet been pushed somewhere. What? Only amend commits that are still local. Amending previously pushed commits and force pushing the branch will cause problems for your collaborators. For more on what happens when you do this and how to recover, if you're on the receiving end, read The Perils of Rebasing. Okay. It's important to understand that when you're amending your last commit, you're not so much fixing it as replacing it entirely with a new, improved commit that pushes the old commit out of the way and puts the new commit in its place. Effectively, it's as if this previous commit never happened and it won't show up in your repository history. Oh, that's interesting. The obvious value to amending commits is to make minor improvements to your last commit without cluttering your repository history with commit messages of the form "oops, forgot." Dude, I have plenty of these in my GitHub repos because I've had many situations where I had to change like some text in a README file or some text in a code file, some like maybe one or two lines of code. Sometimes just a few characters were changed, and then I have to push that as a new commit. Though to be fair, a bunch of those things I was doing them directly from the GitHub website, so I don't know if GitHub gives you the option, like the website, if it gives you the option to amend commits. I should look into that. Yeah, I should look into whether they give you. Actually, yeah, let me check. GitHub website amend uh commit. Nope. This says GitHub desktop. I'm not trying to do it through. Wait, changing a commit message on the command line, navigate to the repository. Back up. This says navigate to the repository. No, no, this says on the command line. I focused on the wrong thing. This says on the command line. If you commit a message, if a commit message contains unclear, incorrect, or sensitive information, you can amend it locally and push a new commit with a new message to GitHub. You can also change a commit message and add so and so. Okay, this is all from like locally. Let me try asking Llama. Does the GitHub website give you the option to amend a commit? The website itself does not provide. Okay, and now it's probably going to point me towards GitHub Desktop. Actually, does GitHub Desktop? I think GitHub Desktop might have that option. I'm not sure. I think so. I think GitHub Desktop has that option. Amending a commit in GitHub Desktop. I'm looking this up on another system. Okay, amending a commit is a way to modify. Okay, fine. In the GitHub Desktop, you go to the history, you right click and click amend commit. Okay, cool, great. Awesome. Um, what was I doing? Yeah, we were supposed to be looking into this removing files thing. Okay, to remove a file from Git, you have to remove it from your tracked files. More accurately, remove it from your staging area and then commit. More accurately, remove it from your staging area and then commit. The git rm command does that and also removes the file from your working directory, so you don't have to see it as untracked for so you don't have to see it as an untracked file the next time around. If you simply remove the file from your working directory, it shows up under the changes not staged for under the stages. What? Hold on, words. It shows up under the changes not staged for commit. Holy shit. That is unstaged. That is unstaged area of your git status output. That is because it has been deleted. That's why it's not showing up. That's why it is showing up. What is going on with my thought process? Holy shit. Then if you run git rm, it stages the file's removal. Backup. So are we or are we not supposed to delete the file before calling git rm? Then if you run git rm, it stages the file's removal. The next time you commit, the file will be gone and no longer tracked. If you modified the file or had already added it to the staging area, you must force the removal with the F option. This is a safety feature to prevent accidental removal of data that hasn't yet been recorded in a snapshot, and that can't be recovered from Git. Another useful thing you may want to do is to keep the file in your working tree, but remove it from your staging area. In other words, you may want to keep the file on your hard drive, but not have Git track it anymore. Okay. This is particularly useful if you forgot to add something to your Git ignore file and accidentally staged it, like a large log file or a bunch of so and so files. To do this, use the cached option. You can pass files, directories, and file glob patterns to the git rm command. That means you can do things such as so and so. Note that the backslash in front of the asterisk is necessary because Git does its own file name expansion in addition to your shell's file name expansion. This command removes all the files that have the .log extension in the log directory, or you can do something like this. Okay, so I'm trying to like imagine a use case for this, like how I'm meant to be using it, because it says it removes it from the working tree and the index. Okay, remove files matching path spec, which is what? Oh, I guess that's just what you pass in. Okay, path spec from the index or from the working tree and the index. Git rm will not remove a file from just your working what? Git rm will not remove a file from just your working directory. There's no option to remove a file only from a working directory and yet keep it in the index. Use bin rm if you want to do that. Assuming you're on Linux, is rm a delete command? Hold on. give me a second. Let me open up the thing. So man rm. Yeah, yeah. It's a yep. RM is a delete thing. Give me a second. All right. Okay. The files being removed have to be identical to the tip of the branch, and no updates to their contents can be staged in the index, though that default behavior can be overridden with the F option. When cached is given, the staged content has to match either the tip of the branch or the file on the disk, allowing the file to be removed from just the index. When sparse checkouts are in use, I have no idea what that is, so we're not going to get into that. Git rm will only remove paths within the sparse checkout patterns. Okay, to understand this, actually, hold on. Is there a git rm thing? Remove. No, that's remove remote. What is the option? Okay, let's try something here. Okay, so we're gonna create a new file called test03.txt. Um, this file has some text in it. Okay, great, awesome. Um, Now we come over here. Okay, added um, test03.txt. All right, so we just added this. Now, what happens if we remove test03.txt? Okay, but that's being recorded as a delete change. Yeah, no, that's being recorded as a delete change. Let's discard the change or unstage the change. Okay, we got the file back. Now, what if we do cached? What did that do? What exactly did that just do? So, what does this say? This says untracked. Open file, unstage change, stage change. Sorry, sorry, zoned out for a bit. Okay, so this says that it is untracked. So what is that supposed to mean? Okay, it also says untracked here, right? Fine. Wait. Let's do get status. All right. Changes to be committed, deleted test, and so hold on. Now, wait. Restore staged file. Okay. Add file to include the file to unstage. No. Okay. So there's something. Hold on. So what would happen here? Shit. I missed the ad timer. Okay. So there's going to be an ad playing in, I don't know, a couple of seconds. And then I will take a hydration break. Actually, you know what? I need to get up and walk around for a bit. So I'm gonna switch to BRB right now, and I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm just gonna walk around for a bit and hydrate and all of that. In the meantime, the ad is probably gonna start in a couple of seconds. So I'll see you guys in like 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Also, welcome back from the ads. Okay, so now I'm trying to understand here because it's saying that the stage change is that it's deleted, and one of the other changes here is an untracked change. So, okay, wait, let's do something here. Um, all right, so let's say untracked this, and let's commit this. Um, okay, cool. So what exactly did we do here? So it says here that we deleted this file, right? But we still have the file here. I wonder if there's a way to untrack something here. Um, no such path in so and so. Damn. Okay, it's doing a bunch of things uh in the background. There's a bunch of stuff that it's doing that it's doing in the background. Oh, wait, I'm looking at holy shit, wait. Is the top the latest thing or is the bottom the latest thing? What's the time mentioned here? Oh, okay. All right. How do I get to the bottom? There. Okay, so now it says no such path. There's an error there. So what if I do this now? Untracked files. Okay. So I think there's a wait, so back up. So we're gonna create a new file, call it test04.txt. This is a new file with some new text. Okay, so let's do status. So here it's saying both of these are untracked. Wait, it's saying both of these are untracked. Okay, what if we do git add um, test04.txt? Okay, now let's take a look at this. So, see, okay, when I was reading whatever was being told here, I was imagining that we would be able to make a file like completely invisible to Git, which was kind of raising other questions for me about like, wouldn't that eventually cause some issues if we did that? Um, the next time you commit, the file will be gone and no longer tracked. If you modified the file or had already added it to the staging area, you must force a removal. Okay, this is a safety so and so. Another useful thing you may want to do is keep the file in your working directory but remove it from your staging area. In other words, you may want to keep the file on your hard drive but not have Git track it anymore. This is particularly useful if you forgot to add something to your Git ignore file and accidentally staged it. Oh, okay. I think I get it now. So now that the thing has been unstaged, or well, now that the thing has been untracked and it's no longer being tracked by, or rather, it's no longer part of the repo anymore. Technically, I think, I think. How do we see what's part of the repo? Yeah, okay. You know what? We have this untracked file, right? So here's what we'll do. We'll commit this, git commit added test04.txt. What is this, dude? Why does this keep happening? All right, whatever. Holy shit, dude. git commit a m added test04.txt. Okay, cool. So now that that is done, take a look at status. This is unstaged, or well, this is untracked. What was I planning on doing? Oh yeah, okay. So let me save this now and do a thing here. Oh shit. Okay, let's try to amend. This is right. This is one of those situations where I need to amend uh the thing. Edited. This one is supposed to say edited. Does that work? Hold on, hold on. Did that work? Oh shit, it worked, dude. Holy shit. Okay, all right. Now let's try amending from here. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, cool. Now, what was I going to do? I was going to check out. I was going to check out to a previous commit. Can I check out from here? I think I can check out from here. Let's check out back to a point where we didn't even have this file, right? This untracked file. Um, and let's see what happens. So let's check out back to this time. Okay, obviously test04 is gone. Test03 has not been touched because the file is untracked. That's what I wanted to find out. Like, is it going to be touched if it's untracked? Or is Git only playing around with the files that it is currently tracking, which it makes sense, right? And now that the file is untracked, something we could do. This is great. This would have been useful for me to know with my previous issue that I ran into. So now that the file is untracked, I can save the git ignore, right? And oh wait, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. Wait. Back up, back up, back up. Um, we need to we need to jump back. So git checkout main. We need to jump back to the main branch, and then here add test03. Okay, and then we commit. Actually, yeah, but just that's it, right? So now this is untracked. This is being ignored. So I'm guessing what git rm cached is useful for is if you have files that you want removed. Actually, no, I think just like okay, for example, yeah, no, I think just rm works for that, right? So if I did something like this, it would remove the file and backup. It removed the file, but that is being, what does that show up as? Oh, there it is. Okay, so modified git ignore and wait, no, yeah, that didn't, yep, that didn't help. Wait, that did not help. So, uh, restore. So we'll restore the file. Git restore test04.txt. I'm glad that they have these little helper messages here. Test over. Okay, all right. It is not there. Git restore staged. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so discard the changes in the working directory, add, remove. Okay, so now let's do git restore test04.txt. Okay, great. The file is back. Awesome, dude. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back because all of this stuff that I I'm able to do now, just all of a sudden, like I'm suddenly realizing that holy shit, I didn't know how to do a bunch of these things before, and now having spent some time with Git, I'm comfortable enough to be able to come up with these, or experienced enough. Still very much a beginner, but experienced enough to be able to solve certain problems. Right. What was I trying to do with this file? Oh, yeah. So now that I've restored it, let's do git rm cached test04.txt. And now let's take a look at status. Right. So this is what I was looking for. I was looking for it to mention that this is an untracked file and it is also being deleted. So in the repo, it's going to show up as deleted. And at some point later, you can add the file in if you want, but for the time being, it's going to remain deleted. So we can do git commit a m untracked test04.txt. Oh yeah, I also modified the git ignore file. I forgot to add that in. Um, okay, great. So this is interesting. The whole idea with like untracking files. This specific thing, git, what was it? Rm cached test04.txt. This is kind of interesting because what this did, actually, I had the thing open here, right? Let's see what the official documentation says uh, that this flag does. Give me a second. Right. So let's see what the official documentation says that this flag does. When cached is given, the staged content has to match either the tip of the branch or the file on the disk. The staged content has to match, okay, allowing the file to be removed from just the index. Okay. Cached. Use this option to unstage and remove paths only from the index. Working tree files, whether modified or not, will be left alone. Okay, cool. I'm still kind of like shaky on the details. I'm still kind of like I'm not entirely, I haven't like fully grasped the concept. Um, yeah, I haven't fully understood the concept. Like I've kind of understood the idea behind it. Git RM in general, what does it do? Like without cache, because it seems like Git RM, it removes the file, like it deletes the file from your working directory, but then it also records that as a change um, of deletion. Like it records that as a deletion, not even as a modification. It records that as a deletion, and that change has been tracked. So you need to then stage that change and commit it so that even in your repo, that change is reflected. So it's basically the same as deleting, isn't it? Git rm will not remove a file from just your working directory. The files being removed have to be identical to the tip of the branch, and no updates to their contents can be staged in the index, though that default behavior can be overridden with the F option. So if you have F in there, I'm guessing it'll unstage Override the up to date check. Okay, I'm guessing it unstages it, right? Or maybe it does something a little more sophisticated than that. I'm not sure. Okay, cool, great, good to know. This is great to know because this kind of thing can help you get rid of the how do I say this? This kind of thing can help you untrack certain folders or files or whatever without having to delete them from your local working directory. And this would have been like a great example is the environment folder. Like let's say I pushed the first commit of the repo, right, for that Python project, and everything, including the environment folder, got pushed. And then I'm like, okay, now how do I remove this? So this is where that can be useful because this will make it so. Actually, I haven't tried this with a folder. This just does it with files, right? Oh, maybe you can specify a pattern because it says matching path spec. So yeah, it could also be for removing directories. I think. I think. I'm not sure. Oh wait, hold up. Files to remove. A leading directory name can be given to remove all the files. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Use this directory to remove this and this. Okay. So remove all the files in the directory and recursively all subdirectories, but this requires the R option to be given explicitly. The command removes only paths that are known to Git. Okay. All right. Right. Yeah. So like I was saying, this can be useful for like that kind of a situation where if like for example you have a Python project, right? You've initialized a repo for it and you push the first commit or you made the first commit and you accidentally included the environment folder. Now if you delete the environment folder and try to push that change, that's one way to go about it, right? But then you're going to have to record that deletion change, and it's going to be a little. It's not the recording of it that's tedious, but like that whole thing where you have to delete that folder and then commit that change and all of that. That's a little tedious, right? Instead, you could just do this thing where you do git rm and it basically does that. Well, do git rm cached and it does basically that. It essentially untracks the file while also writing it as or recording it as a deletion, so that when you commit, now the repo doesn't see that file anymore. The file has been deleted. In that snapshot it says that the file has been deleted, but at the same time the file or folder is, I keep calling it file, but in the example it's a folder. So yeah, either way, the file or folder, it has been in the repo. In the snapshot it shows that it's been deleted, but at the same time it's not tracking the file in your working directory, and the file hasn't actually been deleted, but because it's not being tracked anymore, so you're good. Great. Okay, now give me a second. um okay, I'm not gonna think about this too much. I was thinking about raiding someone, but then I kind of just want to relax. I don't know if I want to raid anyone right now. I'm looking at the list, and there are people that I could raid, but I kind of want to just relax. And maybe in some time later, yeah, actually, yeah. You know what? No, we're gonna I'm gonna end the stream and I'm gonna start up the stream in like an hour or something. I'm gonna relax for a bit and then I'll start up the stream in like an hour or something. And we are gonna do data science lab. We're gonna play around with the linear regression stuff a little bit because there's a tiny bit of experimentation that I want to do with it. And yeah, let's see how today's data science lab goes. It's probably only going to be for like an hour. I want to start with an hour and see how that goes. But yeah, dude, that's gonna be it for today's stream, or rather, just for now. It's That's gonna be it. Hopefully, I'm gonna stream again in like an hour. Uh, but yeah, I'll yeah, dude, that's it. I'm excited about the progress that I'm making. I'm happy with the progress that I've been making on in Git. After I'm done with the data science lab thing, um, I'm probably gonna get back to Git, and hopefully I'll finish this entire thing because this is all about viewing commit history, and I've already seen a couple of different sections of this. I've played around with a couple of different sections. I think yesterday or the day before or something, I was looking through this, so I've already kind of seen like half of this page, and there isn't like too much for me to look at. So like I'm gonna be able to like skim through it pretty quick, and then we're gonna go to something important, which is undoing changes, which the first part we've kind of already looked into it. I have kind of already looked into it, which is amend. And then we have other stuff like unstaging a staged file and what else? Unmodifying a modified file, those kinds of things. Let's see if I'm able to finish this entire page and this page, because I'm done with the remove thing. Now we just need to look at moving files. I need to see what exactly that does. Once I'm done with this, then I'll finish this page and then we can move on to this, undoing things. And what is the next chapter? At what point do we get to remotes? Because I'm excited for remotes as well. Remotes is the next chapter. Okay, awesome, great. That's amazing. Also, let's take a look at tagging and aliases. How big are those chapters? Because like I know about the concept of tags, but like from the GitHub point of view, I'm not sure what that looks like in plain Git. So that should be interesting. And then there's Git aliases, which is not a very big chapter. Oh, it's just creating alias. I think it's just creating aliases for commands, maybe, or maybe for variables. We want to introduce a feature that can make your Git experience simpler, easier, and more familiar. Aliases. For clarity's sake, we won't be using them anywhere else in this book. That's good. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can. I think at some point we're going to be able to, like, after we are done with remotes, which is like a whole complex chapter in itself. Um, I just made that seem like super complicated, but like, I just mean it's a whole chapter in itself, which is going to take a bit of time. After that, we should be able to finish both, hopefully, both tagging and Git basics aliases or Git aliases. I don't know why I read out the Git basics thing. Also, I want to look into. So okay, we can look into the branching thing at some point later. Um, Actually, I'm curious about the branching thing as well. So maybe I might. I mean, I know about branching already. But I want to see what extra stuff I can learn through reading this. And of course, remote branches. I need to see what exactly. how branching works when you're working with remotes. And then I want to look into this, setting up either a Git server or setting up the Git repo on another machine, but then accessing it from another machine. Okay, okay. Enough with this. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here. I'm gonna start up the stream again, maybe in like an hour or 2 hours or something, and then we're gonna do data science lab. Uh, so yeah,